Hi, I'm Cindy Halpern, and these last 2 days have been kind of confusing. I gave a presentation yesterday at Temple Judea in Manhasset. It was before a group of students that are going to present their parents' story before a group of people, and were led by Holocaust survivor Irving Roth. And of course, that was a very positive experience for me, and when people clapped after I was done talking about my mom's childhood in Vienna, I really felt happy. I felt happy because I was honoring Mom's memory, and that I felt a sense of accomplishment relating it in a presentable, relatable way, which is what Irving Roth is trying to get us to do, relate to our audience so they can have empathy for who we're speaking about. So that was very good. Then today, trolls dominated some posts. I made a comment about Obama. That's not new. You know, I'm anti-Obama, pro-Israel. But anyhow, these trolls are really nasty. They will not just disagree with you, which if they just disagree with me, that's fine, because that's their opinion, I have mine. But they did it in such a vile, nasty way, with swear words and graphic representations, and they were just nasty. And there was one troll in particular who was talking about George Washington would have been pro-Muslim. And my retort was that George Washington presented to the Tourist Synagogue in Newport, Rhode Island, a declaration of freedom of religion to be Jewish in early America, and that he was the father of our country, and he founded this country along with others along principles. And the way this troll was talking about George Washington, I got the feeling that this troll was not American at all. The way it was a distortion of George Washington that even an American who doesn't like Israel, who doesn't like Jews, wouldn't distort George Washington as being pro-Muslim. It's just there weren't any Muslims here, and I don't know of any interaction he really had with Muslims except in an intellectual kind of way. He really wouldn't have had any interaction with them, and he certainly wouldn't be siding with them at all. Him coming from a Christian background and not having any interaction with the Arab Muslim world. So that was kind of odd. And then, you know, other trolls who pretend to live in the United States, but the way they spell words, they spell it the British way. And, you know, they learned English through the British system. They might actually be Muslims in Britain, possibly. But not Americans. They just don't have the tone of Americans. Even an American who's saying something nasty about me, you can tell it's an American because of the reference and the spelling and syntax and sentence structure. And I find my hint is the Muslims use physical representation of a woman in swearing, with an American doesn't seem to do that. Americans swear in a different way. They might say F you or stuff like that, but not in this, you know, sentence structure kind of way, the way they present the words. So that's the hint right there that these trolls aren't American, and they possibly may be in Western Europe, but the hint is that they seem to intrude on sites that have very little to do with anything. They just, you know, they pick up on the words Israel or anything they perceive that way, and then they start in on you. And they sometimes they use American names, sometimes they don't. And what I do is I cross-reference their Facebook page to see what it says, who they're related, and when it doesn't have much on there, and there's no information, then you kind of know that it's a fake ID, that that person isn't who he or she says it is. I've had a few times where someone rebuffed me, and they did have a very active Facebook page, and they were legitimate. You just have to know who you're dealing with when they text you back or they respond back on these sites. And you have to use this as a weapon to know how to respond. It's important to know who you're dealing with. And at some point, they just say, oh, you're a troll. And I end the conversation, and they don't bother anymore because I know I picked up on who they are. So, you know, when you use Facebook and these sites to communicate and you're getting people misrepresenting themselves, it's a little disheartening, but it is a fact of the Facebook world that we're brought closer to people we love and care about, but also people that we wouldn't want anything to do with. That these people that I'm probably speaking with are probably trying to kill Jews in Israel. They're probably part of the terrorist cells. They're part of the whole thing, and if they could, they would kill me. And it's not great that I'm in contact with them in this way, but it does give me an idea of their thinking, their mentality, and that peace in that region, unfortunately, is a long way off, because there's not going to be any meeting of the minds. They're so far off from being civilized, you know, or thinking of toleration. They don't want a multicultural society. They just want people who believe in what they believe in, their religion, their way of thinking and dressing, and that's it. And I live in a pluralistic society, and that's what I'm used to. I'm used to a woman having rights and for me to say what I want. And I'm very lucky to be an American. And I'm very proud to be a Zionist, to be pro-Jewish, to be pro-Israel. And these people don't understand that pluralism where they say go back to Israel, whatever. But the United States is my home, and it always will be. And that's another hint that they say these things, that they don't accept pluralistic viewpoints, that I could love Israel and still love my country, which is the United States of America. And I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to be a Jew.